Hello, welcome back to Cracking the Cryptic, and we're looking at a sandwich Sudoku today and also between lines. So this has been recommended to us by Grime, I think it was, who solved it on Logic Masters Germany. It's by the Scrass, who's not a name I know. Anyway, I do like Sandwich Sudoku, so I'm looking forward to it. We have apps featuring, our first ever one was Sandwich Sudoku, a name coined by Alex Bellos when he was writing an article about our channel back in the very early days for The Guardian. And we were saying that between 1 and 9 Sudoku was rightly very popular. And he featured a puzzle in the paper and called it Sandwich Sudoku. It's a brilliant name and it's stuck. And there we go. That's a little bit of history for you. Yes, we have apps including Sandwich Sudoku and Classic Sudoku 2 and the Worms, and they are all very good value. They're on the links under the video, along with, what else have we got? We've got our merchandise as well. And that features the Rat Run merch, including mugs by Marty Sears and lots of other Cracking the Cryptic goodies that you can get your hands on. And we do at last have a reliable deliverer of that stuff now. We've also, of course, got Patreon. Yes, today it was the deadline. Today was the deadline for the Detective Pet Sudoku hunt, but there'll be another one out on the 1st of next month. There are, of course, gridogram connections and crossword videos, including Saber's Listener and the Times Monthly Club special for amongst the cryptic crosswords. So loads of content there to keep you happy if you're into puzzles. And of course, we've got this puzzle today. It's called Sandwich Between Sudoku, for obvious reasons. It's by the Scrass, and I'm going to go through the rules now. You can play it on the first link under the video. I don't know its difficulty, but I am going to try and solve it. Let's do the rules. Normal Sudoku rules apply. That means 1 to 9 will go in every row, every column, and every 3x3 box. A clue outside the grid indicates the sum of the digits between the 1 and the 9 in that row or column. So in this column, wherever the 1 and the 9 are, if you add up all the digits between them, they sum to 18. And the digits along the grey lines must be between the digits in the circles. So do have a try. I noticed that Rocky Rower had praised the puzzle on Logic Masters Germany, and that's always a good recommendation. But give it a try. I'm going to start now. Let's get cracking. Right. There are some trigger points in Sandwich Sudoku. Any clue over 31, you know quite a lot about its sandwich size and where what we call the crusts go. Any clue over 21, you can determine that the middle of that column or row is not a crust cell. We don't have any of those today. We have a few zeros, which obviously mean that the 1 and the 9 are next to each other in those rows and columns. But I think we're going to have to work on some interaction between the between lines, which is quite surprising. I don't know what it's going to be. Is this... Right, there must be at least 5 different digits separating these digits in circles numerically. So they could be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 at a minimum. They could be more, but I think that means these definitely come from the family of 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9. Why do I feel I'm not making enough deduction from that? I really do feel that. I don't know. It feels to me like there aren't very many sandwich clues here, in a way. It's tricky, isn't it? There's this one as well, which also, no, it doesn't also have 5 necessary digits. It only has a necessary maximum of 4. And all that's telling me is that 5 doesn't go in a circle. Wow, I don't know. I should be learning, I should be understanding something about this line. Obviously, digits can repeat on between lines. Maybe I should consider the overlapping zeros. What's going on with those then? I don't know at all. There are sometimes considerations about columns together and rows together. The fact that these two have zeros might mean that 1, 9 are confined within a box. Oh, right. I've remembered a very important thing that is absolutely blooming obvious, and it's taken me 3 minutes to remember it. And that is that 1 and 9 cannot go on the between line cells because you couldn't make them between 2 other digits. So these can all be painted green immediately. Those are not cells that contain crusts, 1 and 9. What I'm looking to do is coat the grid in red crusts dotted around green. Now, that must help. Look, that tells me, look at that. All of these digits can't be a crust, 1 or 9 in this column because of the 0 clue. Because they would need the other one to be next to them. So they're all green. That is a definite red crust going either with a 1 or a 9 above or below it. And now these two must be green because we're going to have the 2 reds in the box in those 3 cells. In fact, all of these are green. The 2 reds in column 6 are there. Now we've got a red in row 7, and that's a part of a 1, 9 pair. So lots of green in this box because there's only 2 reds in any row, column or box. Here I'm not sure in this row. Now we've still got a 0 row to deal with here. Oh look, we've only got 2 potential red cells left in box 5. And then we use the 0 row and put a crust in there. And that really has changed the game. Right, I've only got 2 red potentials left in box 6. Now I've got my 2 in column 7. So everything else in that column is green. I've got my 2 in row 5. Now, in a moment, I'm going to be able to use the clues with numbers in. Well, I can here. These 2 can't be read. In fact, all 3 of these can't be read because the sum of the sandwich in this column is 18. You can't put 9 in a sandwich because 9's always a crust. So 8 and 7 is the minimum 2-cell sandwich, and that means the 18-cell sandwich, the 18 sandwich is at least 3 cells, and it doesn't go north, it must go south. That's a crust. These are green. These are now the 2 remaining crusts in the column. We've had all the crusts in row 2. We've got 16 in this column, and that's going to stop this being red and this being red, because obviously, actually the sandwich is at least 3 cells for 16 or 18. So that goes red. That's the second one in the row. We're going to have all the crusts completed in a, or maybe not. Yes, here's the second one in box 4. And this column needs a sandwich of 18, which is at least 3 cells. We've had the 2 crusts in this row. So there's the remaining crust in box 1. That's a crust and that's a crust. And there we go. So I'm now going to get rid of the green. All the reds are our crusts. They're all 1s and 9s. In fact, let's fill them all in as 1, 9 pairs. And now we can maybe, we've dealt with all the zeros, obviously. We've got 16 here. There are a number of ways that can break down. 8, 6, 2. 8, 5, 3, 7, 6, 3, 7, 5, 4 are the 4 ways. Here it's a 4 cell, and that's different. Oh, that digit can't be 1 or 9 anymore. That is 2, 3, 7 or 8. Oh, this sandwich row is 8. So I can fill in my first digit in the puzzle after 7 minutes. 3 of which were just not realizing the absolute basics of between lines. Now, 8 there. This is quite interesting because the circles can't be 1 or 9. So the closest they can be together is 2 and 8. And these 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 are available. In fact, I'm going to pencil mark those. Neither of those circles can be an 8 because of where this is. That is a very elegant bit of setting. So I think the maximum difference between those circles occurs if they are 2 and 7, and then everything on the line is 3, 4, 5, and 6. And since we know there are 4 on the line in this row, that must be what happens. So this is a 2, 7 pair. In this row now, 8 is in one of these cells, and the other digit from 2 or 7, that one, yeah, that's nice. I like that. Haven't quite understood how we're going to figure out any of these 18 sandwiches yet. Even this one, which is just 3 cells. This long line would be a lot easier if it was like this and couldn't have 1 or 9 in any circle, but clearly it can do. What's left in box 8, perhaps? We've had 3 from 3, 4, 5, 6. We definitely have had 8 used here. These can include 1 digit from 2 and 7 and 1 digit from 3, 4, 5, 6. So I think they're either a 2, 6 pair with 3, 4, 5 here, or a 3, 7 pair with 4, 5, 6 here. I think that is right. These are either 2, 7 or 3, 8. And that means this is a 2, 3, 7, 8 quad. And these digits are 4, 5, 6. So weird. I think that's right, though. Now, those are quite interesting digits. 4 and 5 are here, along with either 3 or 6. What's going to go here? What I'm trying to get at is, does this now have to somehow be 2 or 8? Yes. No. I was going to say whatever that is must go here. That might not be true if it's a 3 going here, in the case that this is a 2, 7 pair. Yeah, that was close. But I can't make that grand presumption. I'm feeling a bit tempted to start colouring these digits by high and low. It might be quite difficult to do, though. Do I know anything else I can do? And the answer to that is probably not. I'm finding it very difficult to think of a way of getting to the nub of what is high and what is low in this puzzle. Because, I mean, I'm not really getting any... I suppose this digit sees both the 2 and the 7. And also 8 and 1, 9 pair. So that is from 3, 4, 5, 6 as well. That's slightly interesting. Oh, There we go. Sorry, this 2, 3, 7, 8 pair has got a very big clue. 3 is in one of these cells. And we said these are either 3, 8 or 2, 7. So they are 3, 8. No. No, that's not right. No, no, no. I've got this all wrong. I've got this all wrong. Bother. When I filled in these, I think correctly, I knew that 8 was down here, but I never marked that. So these are either 3, 7, with those being 4, 5, 6, or 2, 6. I mismarked them, didn't I? That's why it's not as easy as what I was just doing. These are either 2, 6 or 3, 7. So between those cells and those cells, 2 and 7 are going to be used up, but they are not a quad. And 3 doesn't have to be in this group. And if it was in this pair, this would be 3, 7. And that would be fine. Right, I'm going back to my colouring plan. Let's make this green. Now that could be high or low. This is the other colour, so I'm going to make it pink, because one of these is high and one of these is low. Now, the green digit from 2, 7 is in one of those. And the pink digit from 2, 7 is in one of these cells. Along with a digit that I'm going to call light blue, that is the same polarity, the same high or low as green, but is a different digit. So if green's a 7, the blue digit here is a 6. If green's a 2, the blue digit here is a 3. And I don't quite know how I think this is going to help me, but it might do. Pink is in one of those cells. This light blue could be there or here. So now I was going to look up at this and go, this can't be green, 2 or 7. So if it's light blue, it's 3 or 6. But if it had to be this cell's interesting in this row. These cells are all inside the relationship between these two digits. And this is the only one that isn't 1 or 9 that's outside that relationship. Yes, this is very important. So if that's a 1, this one is a 7, and that digit is 8. And that won't work, because that would need a 9 in one of these circles, and they don't have it. Am I wrong about this? I might be wrong about this. I was then thinking, I am wrong about it, because it also doesn't work the other way around. That's really interesting, actually. So if that was a 9, I was saying this would be a 3, and that would be a 2. But that doesn't work either, because you can't put 1 in these circles. So I've misunderstood, but that's okay, because it allows me to see what I've misunderstood. This is a quite extreme digit. It's either green or pink. And that means that this doesn't have to be outside. It could have been inside. It could have been one of the between digits, because there are 6 of them. That's how this can exist. Since we know it's not 2 or 8, I mean, we literally know that these digits aren't 2 or 8, because they couldn't have the requisite 1 or 9 in a circle. They are from 3, 4, 5, 6, or 7. And I think, therefore, naturally, they have to be inside this relationship. And therefore, this is extreme as it can be, which is to make it 2 or 7. And now we can color it as pink. And that means this sees both 2 and 7 and can't be a 7. No, 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 no. 2 and 7 not the extreme digits, Mark. 2 and 8 are the extreme digits, and we can't colour it. 2 and 7 are different things that happen down here, not to C8. They're not equivalent. Right, that is 2 or 8, and it's much less helpful, except that we do know where it goes in this box now. That's brilliant. It goes here. I can't colour it at all because I don't even know which of green or pink is a 2. And 8, I haven't even assigned a colour. Okay, but I'm back on track a bit now. These are, so, oh, whatever that digit is can't be on its own line here. So it's in one of those 3, which I could have worked out from the fact that it's in these 2 cells. I know I am so dense at this. I wish I wasn't as well, but there we go. Well, in a way, 8 has become a digit of interest, and maybe I should start thinking about this short 18 clue. Could it avoid having an 8 in? The answer is yes, if it was 765 here in these cells. That's the only way. And the trouble is, I just don't know if that is the case or not. I mean, I could say green is in one of these 2. I haven't said that before, but it is. And therefore, these digits can't involve 2 or 7. They do involve 8, because that 8 is looking at those cells, and we've got these to think about. But they don't involve 2 or 7, so the other possible digits here are from 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, we worked out that these include 4 and 5. So these cells definitely include 7, which is something rather unexpected. They include the other digit from 2 or 8 that isn't this one. So these have to be from 3, 4, 5, and 6. And either 3 or 6 is in this group, with 7 and the other digit from 2 and 8. That can't be 7 anymore. This digit here can't be 7. Now, if that is 7, 8 is going in one of these circles. Ah, this group, yes. This group adds to 16. I don't think we can put an 8 in it, because the other 3 cells would have to add to 8. And you can't do that without a 1. So this digit is a 2. There's my second digit in the puzzle, which has taken even longer than the first digit took. That's now where 2 goes in box 5. One of these is a 2. This is not a 2 down here. This is a 9, because 2 and 1 won't work. So that might unwind all my red cells and vastly populate the grid with digits that I didn't have before. It's great. It's great. It's unwinding all the reds. Look at that. Absolutely beautiful. They're all done after that. And are any of them in circles? No. Only that one. So it doesn't achieve anything else for the puzzle. But that 2 is now looking at this cell, making it a 7. Green is a 7. This is a 2. This is not a 2. This pair is 7 and 8. That 2 is looking at... Oh, sorry, I wasn't trying to hit enter. I was trying to get rid of a 2 from that cell. One of these is a 2. There's a 7 in one of those 2. This 7-8 pair has determined this pair. There's no 7 in them, so they are 2 and 6, so that these can be 3, 4, 5. And now these cells are 6, 7, 8. That takes 6 out of the other cells in the row. Ah, this is good. Now 6 has come off this line. These digits are 3, 4, 5. One of these, what was pink? It's a 2. 7 is looking at that cell as well, making it very suggestive that 7 will end up in one of these circles, but that's not given at all. Now, these add up to 16. So in the column as a whole, 16 there, plus 9 and 1 is 26, plus 7 is 33. That's going to leave these two in the column to add up to 12, because I'm sure you know the secret that every row, column, and box in a Sudoku adds up to 45. For these two to be 12, they can't both be 6s. They can't be 5, 7, because we've already had a 7. They can't be 3, 9, because we know that's not a 9. So this is a 4 and that's an 8, and they're just done. This is now not 4. That 4 comes out of these, which are a 3, 5, 6 triple. 3, 5, 6, 2. Let's just check they add up to 16 in our head. They do. That's definitely right. This is a 2, 6 pair, as far as I can see by Sudoku. I'm going to get rid of the colours I was using, I think, because I mean they've done their job. This is a 3, 5 pair. In the row, this is a 4, 7 pair. I've somehow never written this in as a 2. I thought I did earlier. Maybe I went backwards after I clicked the tick or whatever I did. That is 3 or 5. 4, 7. So this is a 3, 4, 5 triple. This is a 3, 4, 5 triple as well. So this digit can't be 2 or 8, because its circle can't be 1 or 9, can't get outside it. So 2 is in one of, well, this can't be 2 or 8, so it's 6 or 7. If it was 7, 8's in a circle. Now we've got an 18 clue here. Oh, let's add up. 18 plus 10 is 28. These three add to 17. That's quite high, is it? 8, 7, 2. No, there's quite a lot of possibilities. Eight, 7, 2, 8, 6, 3, 8, 5, 4, 7, 6, 4. Those are all the possibilities. Right, that 2 is looking at this cell. I was going to get rid of these colours. Don't know how that failed. Right, that's a 6. That's a 2. 6 is looking at this cell. That's a 7, 8 pair. This is 3, 4, or 5. So that is the low end here on this between line. This must be the high end, must be 7 or 8, but we've got 8 looking at it. So that's a 7, that's a 6. And now we've found 6 in the central box. This group adds to 18. If that was a 4, this would have to be a 6, 8 pair. Oh, can this be a 2? No, because these two would have to add to 16 and we can't use a 9. So that's not 2. This is now 2. One of these is 2. 4 does work there. If it was a 7, I'm sure we can make 11 here with either 6, 5 or 8, 3. Still got this sandwich. Oh, we've got this sandwich to do, which I haven't really spent any time thinking about yet. But it seemed to have a lot of possibilities when I was thinking about it earlier, so I'm not thrilled. Okay, this column, 6 and 3, 4, 5. The 4 in this column is in one of those two cells, so this isn't a 4. These include 2 and either 7 or 8. Maybe I should think about this, which can't have a 2 in a circle, and therefore it can't have 3 on its line. That's good. That's a bit good. One of these 2 digits in this row now is a 3. One of these circles is either 3 or 4 at the low end, and the other one could be 6 or 7 or 8 at the high end. That's not so helpful. Two, 7, 8, triple. That's quite good fun. 6, 1, 9, 2. Oh, I don't know. And there's this between line that I haven't looked at at all. I mean, it just looks, frankly, a bit scary. Oh, maybe it's not. Maybe it's not. This digit can't be 2 or 8 because of the between line. And it can't be 1, 7, 6 or 9. So it is 3, 4 or 5. Now, there is a lower digit in one of these. Can that avoid being 2 is my question. If it was 3, the lower digit here, this would be a 4, 5, 6 triple. We'd have 2, 7, 8 to fit in amongst those cells and the higher one here. And actually, yes, I think that is doable. But maybe this is going to play with... So what did I say? I said those added up to 28. These add up to 17. And we've now got a 3, 4 or 5 here. If that was a 3, these would be 6, 8. And that would be 2. And these would be broken. Right, my calculation of this column is that the green cells add up to 18 because that's the clue. The reds add up to 10 and the light blues add up to 17. If I was to put a 3 in the corner here, my only chance of 3 in the corner in this puzzle, these digits to add up to another 14 to make the 17 total would have to be 6, 8, and that would break these cells. So that's not a 3. And that's not quite as useful as I wanted it to be. But let's carry on with the possibilities. If that's a 4, these add up to 13, but they can't be 9, 4. They would either be 6, 7 or 5, 8. Yeah, I can't say they're not. I haven't got enough information. Oh, bother. Okay. I'm going to have to think about this one again, maybe. Oh, it's so weird. Right, what's going on this? One of them is low, but that could be 2, 3, or 4. One of them is high, but that could be 6, 7, or 8. Neither of them can be a 2. That much we know. And I've used that already. Sorry, I don't know what to do next. This 18 sum. Right, if that was a 4, there'd be nowhere for 7 in the column. Oh, that's really interesting. If this digit was a 4, these would have to add to 14 and be 6, 8. And now that we've got that 7, and we haven't allowed a 7 here, there'd be nowhere for 7 in this column. So that is a 7, and it is indeed the 7 in the column. Now one of these 2 digits is a 7 by Sudoku, but more importantly, perhaps, these add up to 11, and they can't be 7, 4. They're either 6, 5 or 3, 8. If they were 6, 5, this would be a 3 down here, and this would be 2, 4, 8. And this would be there is a 3 in one of those cells. That's what we established. That's what the 3 in the corner means. So these aren't 3, 8. They are 6, 5. This digit down here is a 3. And now we're getting quite a bit done down here. That 5 gets placed in the middle box. Yes, that 5 sorts out the 6, 5 that we just got. Now that has to be a 3, 4 pair. This digit is a 5. I was going to say that makes this a 6. It doesn't do that at all. It stops this being a 5. This is now a 7, 8 pair in the box. That's become a 5. I hadn't noticed that. This has become a 3. Yes, this has done a huge amount. It was this group that I saw early on. That's a 2, 4, 8. This is a 3, 5 pair. Nine, 5, 2, 1. 1, 9, 5, 2, 6. These are from 3, 4, 7, 8. Little bit surprised this is all going to get unwound. 5 is looking up to the top cell here, which is therefore 3 or 4. In this top row, we have 2, 3, 4, 5, 8 all to place. Okay, maybe I'm going to have to come to this line. I mean, 5 didn't really help me. I don't know. So I've done the 18 clue here now. It was 5, 6, 7. I've done the 16 clue here. This green 18 clue I've not done at all. This 16 clue, let's make it pink. I have not done that. If this digit was a 3, yeah, that doesn't work. We would need another odd digit and an even. In fact, after this digit, which is odd, we need one more odd and an even. So that must be odd, because this one can't be. So we've got 7 there. These now add up to 9, and it looks like 5, 4 is the only way they can be. And that's really useful. That's 2, that's 8, that's 7. 8, 7. Right, that is done, and that is very important. This is 3 or 8 by Sudoku. These are from 2, 3, 6, 8. I'm not going to get overwhelmed with working out what they are. These are done, 8 and 2. That is not done. In this row, this has become a 5. That is the most unhelpful digit possible. That's 4 though. That's 7. This does look like it's beginning to be helpful. In this column, yes, 3 and 4 are done. And that now is an 8. And this is a 5. And that's a 3 in the box, which is finished. And this is 4 in the corner. That's an 8. And these are a 2, 3, 6 triple. So 6 now has to be in one of the circles to justify this. So that's a 3. And now the circles are a 2, 6 pair. We've also got a 2, 6 pair in column 1. Oh, but these blues had to add up to 17 to make this column work. And we've got 11, so that's a 6. That gives us this 2, 6 pair down here. This has become a 6 by Sudoku. These 3, 5 are done. This is a 3, 8 pair that I can't resolve. I must be able to resolve this pair. I can't. And therefore, oh, it's this circle. I can resolve that. That was an 8, so this is a 3. That does get everything else done. Otherwise, it would have been a deadly pattern. Okay, let's get rid of the colouring of those clues, because job done. And indeed, job done on the whole puzzle. Lovely puzzle, sandwiched between Sudoku by the Scrass, and I have enjoyed that a lot. That's a very good one. Thank you for watching us on the channel. As always, a pleasure to have you with us. And do come back for more tomorrow. Bye for now.